Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I ask for unanimous consent that all members may have 5 legislative days in which to revise and extend their remarks and to submit extraneous material into the record.
Without objection.
Thank you. I rise today to lead my colleagues in a special order hour. On October 7th, Hamas launched a horrific attack against Israeli civilians, murdering over 1,400 people and taking hostage more than 244 women, children, families, and the elderly. Hamas spared no one. The hostage crisis has left hundreds of families desperate and searching for answers on the health and safety of their loved ones. This past month has been gut-wrenching. I've never felt this magnitude of pain, shock, and anger burning in the hearts of the Jewish people. The intentional genocidal violence inflicted on Israeli civilians and the unconscionable apathy of many nations is a sobering reminder of the fact that Israel remains surrounded by hostility and danger. For me and for so many of us, this goes beyond our belief in the survival of the Jewish state, and it rises far above politics as usual. It's a moment in history that begs for humanity, for unity, and for solidarity with Israel. I am wrecked by how quickly people in this country have forgotten the hostages still being held in Gaza by Hamas. I find myself having to reiterate over and over again that Israel was attacked by a terrorist organization whose mission is the eradication of Israel and the Jewish people. We must all remember not only the horrifying statistic of 240 captured, but who they are as people. These are real human beings. And that is why we are here tonight. And we will continue to come to this floor to call attention to all of the human beings who are brutally being held captive by Hamas in Gaza until every last one of them is released. Each of my colleagues who are joining me will speak about a hostage or family of hostages, show their beautiful faces, and remind all of us not to forget these victims who are suffering under terrorist brutality. Thankfully, Israel has welcomed home many children and some women this week, and I'm extremely grateful for President Biden's efforts to help make that possible. But we cannot and we will not stop until all hostages are reunited with their families. Tonight, I'll be sharing the story of the Bibas family. Parents Shiri and Yarden, 4-year-old Ariel, and 10-month-old Kafir from Kibbutz Nir Oz. Look at this beautiful family. Kafir, the youngest hostage, was just 9 months old on October 7th. He had just learned to crawl when he was abducted. His family is worried Kafir doesn't have access to formula. Look at Kafir's beautiful face. How could anyone justify kidnapping and taking hostage a 9-month-old? As a Jewish mother, I remember when my babies were just that age. I remember nursing them, holding them in my arms, being joyful about their first crawling, their first steps, looking forward to the beauty of their lives unfold. And looking at Kafir and Ariel's faces is heartbreaking, and it's deeply personal. Many of us have had the opportunity to meet with families of these hostages. Yesterday, Hamas claimed that Shiri, Ariel, and Kafir were killed in Gaza. I pray with all my heart that that is false. The barbarism and cruelty of Hamas knows no bounds. The Bibas family would never have been in harm's way in Gaza if Hamas did not launch its murderous attack on Israel and take children as leverage. Thank you. Take children as leverage on October 7th. On that fateful day, Shiri, Yarden, and their boys were hiding in a safe room when militants fired semi-automatic weapons outside the family's window as Yarden texted relatives, "I love you all." A half an hour later, he texted, "They're coming in," just before communication ceased. Since then, the world has seen a distressing video of Shiri holding her 2 young boys wrapped in a blanket close to her chest, while surrounded by Hamas militants, with another video depicting Yarden with a head injury, forcibly being taken away on a motorcycle. On Monday, the IDF announced the Bibas family was transferred by Hamas to another Palestinian terror group in Gaza, as if they were a commodity to give leverage to another terrorist organization. While we know the facts of October 7th and we've seen the family's pictures and videos, it's important to remember the light and the love of this family. Shiri is described by loved ones as a woman who touches everyone's heart, gentle and full of tenderness, which you could clearly see when she was trying to shield her children in the terror on her face. She was reborn with her 2 little sons. They were the light that filled her life. Under her loving wing, they were growing up happily. Ariel loves anything with wheels and a motor. He dreams of superheroes and dresses up as Batman. Yarden is a sensitive and loving father and husband. His brother, Ofri, says that while his brother looks big and strong, inside he's the most sensitive and gentle person he knows. Shiri's cousin, Yafar, said in an interview about her family, "I can only hope they are together. I hope they didn't separate her from her children. I try not to think about the worst. This is the only thing that keeps me going. But every day that goes by, we can't go down the same path anymore. Things need to be changed. Israel is going to be changed after this. We are all traumatized. This touched every family that is involved in Israel," unquote. My heart goes out to Ofri, Yifar, and their whole family. Make no mistake, Hamas will be held responsible.